Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here, out here in the wind tunnel. That wind is whipping today, blowing like crazy. But today is all about velocity on the Savage 110 Tactical 6 arc, and I actually had to rig up. I was getting ready to I was loosening this thing up because I'm done with the shooting, and I was like, you know what, I probably need to at least show this part. I only have one spacer with me, and that's the problem with the Sporter version. I think it might only come with 1 or 2 spacers, I believe, but the one that I happened to have on me, it was too thick, which was making the magneto speed sit just a little bit too low, to the point where it would not read, it would not register some of the shots. And so I had a tie down strap, just a ratchet strap in the back of my vehicle. I cut off a few sections of that and used that, basically just rigged that up. That's the redneck way to do things. Just rigged that up and tightened it down, and we were good to go. We picked up our velocities after that, so we didn't have any issues once I did that. The problem really showed up. I had a couple, I'll show you here. We had some smoking velocities, and we had some pressure problems. But just a heads up, so I did stay within published, maximum load data that's published for the bullets that I shot. Now the problem is, these bullets, the only one that I actually had load data for that bullet was the 95 grain, the Hornady SST. Okay, and that was the one where we had the most pressure issues. And I shot the max charge of accurate 2520, which is 30.7. I'm probably gonna pick up all the wind on camera, but y'all just have to deal with it. This is straight out of Hornady's manual, accurate 2520, 30.7 grains. This is their bolt action data, cartridge overall length 2.180, which that makes these things look kind of goofy because the cannelure sits up above the mouth of the case, but that's just, it is what it is. So we copied their load data exactly. Look at the velocities we got. Up over 2,800 feet per second. I mean, this thing was cooking with peanut oil. We were moving on. We pierced 2 primers, but you can see, I mean, our SD would be pretty good. I mean, 2829, 2827, 2821, then we're dropped down 2809, then back up 2821. That's pretty impressive for the length barrel that we're shooting. That's pretty impressive for that 95 grain. And then for Leverevolution, I just had 1 error reading on that, but you can see, I mean, that SD, I mean, who knows what that shot was, but between those 4 shots, that's pretty tight SD there. It's going to be pretty low, so that was good. That was paired up with the Nosler 95 grain ballistic tip. I used Leverevolution. Now, I don't have load data for that particular bullet, so I just copied the load data that Hornady has for the 95 grain and 100 grain bullets. They lumped those two together, the 95 and the 100 grain bullet, in their load data. And so that one is Leverevolution at 31.4 grains. And I decided to go with the cartridge overall length of 2.2 on that one, and didn't have any feeding issues or anything like that. And I focused on 4 sort of hunting. This is more like a hunting application that I'm focused on to begin with, and then trying to see what type of velocities we would get with a hunting bullet. 95 to 100 grain is going to be a perfect hunting bullet, in my opinion, for this rifle. 90 grain, 87, something in that range, even an 85 like a Barnes or something would be a great one. And so I wanted to focus on the 95 and 100. So this is the 100 grain Sierra Game King. It's the Spitzer boat tail. I was using accurate 2700, and I pulled this load data here off Hodgdon's website for Accurate 2700 and BLC2. So I pulled that load data directly off Hodgdon's website for a 100 grain bullet. It's the 100 grain nozzle partition, so it's not, you know, apples to apples. Same thing on the Spirit Grand Slam. I just used their 100 grain partition load data, and they had BLC2 listed in Accurate 2700, which I have both of those. So I wanted to give those a try, just see what type of velocities we would get. Accurate 2700 is where I had all these did not register, you know, just didn't even read, didn't even show anything. And then I had an error, and I was like, you know what, I need to try something different. So that was when I made the switch. I did pick up one velocity, the last. I was shooting 5. I had loaded up 10 of each. I was going to shoot 5 for velocity and then a group of 5 to see how the accuracy looked at the top end of the charge weight range for each bullet. But I ended up shooting a couple more, just try to capture some velocities. I was at 2466 and 2462 for Accurate 2700. And we did not pierce the primers. I'm telling you, the wind is, you can hear it on camera, I'm sure, but the wind is just, it's brutal out here today. But we're going to try to shoot groups in it and see what happens. And that way, if I have a bad group, I can just blame the wind. And then for BLC2, velocities were just erratic, 28.2. We didn't pierce any primers though. Again, Accurate 2520 was the only one that we did that on. That was the only major signs of pressure that we saw. We were definitely cratering primers. I mean, right off the bat, look at that joker with Accurate 2520. We had pressure problems throughout. So we shot the first 2 with no issues, and then we pierced the next 2 primers, and then the last one didn't crater nearly as bad. And then for the nozzler ballistic tip, we were starting to crater. The primer, you know, for the Accurate 2700 load, we didn't really have any major issues, didn't really have any major signs of pressure. So I'm probably going to work up a little bit higher on that 2700 just to see, you know, what, because that's way off of the velocity that Hodgdon was saying that we should be seeing. Now, of course, it's out of a longer barrel, but Accurate 2700 is a slower burning powder, so maybe we can get away with cramming a little bit more in the case, getting a little bit higher velocity out of it before we start to hit some pressure. So between that, yeah, and then BLC2, I wanted to check that one out. That was another one that showed decent velocity on Hodgdon's website. We didn't really crater any primers or anything like that. So we might come back to BLC2. We may push that a little bit higher just to see what kind of velocity we can get before we hit major signs of pressure. But that was a powder I just had sitting around. There's load data for it. I had a pound of it just sitting in the closet. I never use it for anything, so I figured I might as well give it a shot here. But I mean, look at the velocities over here. Man, Accurate 2520. And that's definitely one that you can run up some impressive velocities in 308 also. When I was working up a load for my buddy Will, you know, I was shooting the 165 grain Sierra Game King, and I had that one going at 2,900 feet per second out of just your standard, you know, kind of short barrel hunting rifle setup. You know, it wasn't a long 24, 26 inch barrel, anything like that. And we were getting 2,900 feet per second out of it. So it's definitely one that you can hit. You can definitely hit some pressures with it too, up around those max charges. You know, they're not lying when you see a max charge of Accurate 2520. It's, you know, they're definitely not lying on that. You don't want to go messing around with that one above max, in my experience, at least in 308 now in 6 arc. But that's just some impressive velocities out of our rig. So yeah, that's it. That's where I'm gonna leave it, because I'm trying to let my barrel cool down. I'm gonna shoot some groups and see how these guys group. Actually, my target fell down because of the wind, so I need to go pick it back up. But yeah, that's it. There you go. For those of you that, you know, we're looking at maybe some hunting applications, some hunting bullets. All 4 of these are really good contenders. So there you go. There's you some initial data to ponder over. But that's it. That's where we're gonna leave it. Check this out. I'm the only one here again. So you guys need to come down Hobbs Island Shooting Range, join, come out here, hang out with me. Let's get some range time in. And then don't forget, you know, make sure if you're looking for anything firearm related, reloading related, whatever, go check out Mr. Big Guns in Huntsville. Let them know I sent you over. And then same thing goes for Midway Pistol and Ammo out in Gurley. Those guys have done a great job. Mark and Robert have done a great job on revamping that store, converting it, you know, just to focusing on, you know, the outdoors type stuff. So firearms, optics, whatever you're looking for, swing by, let them know I sent you over there. So that's it. That's all. We will catch y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.